welcome everybody to Struggle Free Saturdays. I am so excited to have everybody on. Listen, make sure, hey Sandra, make sure you guys invite some people out because this one is going to be amazing. Oh, I just love you, Desiree. Dustin, hey girl. Hi, everybody, come on in. Make sure you drop your name and say hello so I can greet you. If you're tuning in for the first time, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so excited to have you on. Listen, we do this every single Saturday, 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, okay? 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time every single Saturday. So the Lord just literally picks a topic for me to talk about, or a lot of times you guys will pick the topic and you get to ask any questions, DM me or text me. And we just go over what's going on, right? So this segment of Struggle Free Saturday is literally all about you. I want to know how I can help you avoid the struggle. I want to know how I can help you get out of the stress, how to get out of the strain. Because even though I am known to be a business strategist, I want you guys to know that without our personal life being together, without our personal life being intact, then listen, everything else falls apart, right? So many of you know me also as an international speaker, a woman of God, whatever term you want to use. But let me tell you something. If the inward is not right, and if you're struggling on the inside, it's only going to be a matter of time before it spills over into the outside. All right. Hey, Katie. Hey, Flossie. Hey, Nina. Oh, I love you, my little sister. Sherry. Good morning, everybody. So listen, we're going to go ahead and hop right into it. I want you guys to make sure you tag some people in this post, okay? I want to make sure you tag some people, you guys, and make sure you invite some people out because this one is really, listen, we're going to go in. So letting go. I had several people ask me several questions. Desiree, how do you know when it's time to let go? Right? So first and foremost, I just want to attack this one. How do you let go of a relationship? How do you know when it's time to let go of a relationship? And listen, you guys, I don't just mean an intimate relationship between a man and a woman, right? I don't just mean a relationship with, male and female type of relationship. How do you know when it's time to let go of a friendship that you've had for many years? How do you know when it's time to let go of a partnership? How do you know when it's time to let go of something that you've held so close to your heart for so many years? How do you know when it's time to let go of a person that you love so much in your heart for so many years? Come on, somebody talk to me today. Hey, Philip. Hey, Angel. So glad to have you. How do you know when it's time to let go? I want to first off start with this, and this is going to really help as we continue through the rest of the training today, right? If a person, I want you to evaluate everyone that's inside of your life right now. Come on, y'all, make sure y'all invite some people out, tag somebody in this post, because we never know who in our life need to let go of something. I want you to DM some people right now, get them to the broadcast. Look, there are 16 people. There should be 16 shares because this is going to be a good word. I want you to evaluate everyone in your life right now. And I want you to put people, there are only two buckets. Somebody type in two buckets. Two buckets. Hey there, coach. There's only two buckets. I want you to put everyone in that's in your life right now. Okay. Don't create a third bucket. Don't create a fourth bucket. Don't create a fifth bucket. There are only two buckets. The first bucket, I want you to call addition. We're going to keep this real simple. The first bucket is going to be called addition. The second bucket is going to be called subtraction. You have the addition bucket and you have the subtraction bucket. Because let me tell you something, you guys. I'm a dreamer. Okay. I love to dream and I love to see the potential in people. That's just one of my gifts. But let me tell you something. How many of y'all know if I'm in a relationship based on potential, oh, that relationship is going nowhere. If I'm in a situation that's based on the potential of what they can bring and not the actual facts, this is why even Jesus had to say, I need you to know this tree by the fruit, not the potential that this tree could bring. If you keep telling me that you're going to potentially produce oranges, 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 but every time I look on that tree is manifesting nothing but apples, apples, apples. I need you to know, listen, this tree is only going to produce apples. It's telling you it has the potential to produce oranges, but baby, let me be the first to tell you, the only thing you're going to continuously get from this tree is apples. So what do I mean? The people that are in your life, and I mean a relationship, I mean a partnership, I mean a friendship, I'm talking all of the ships today, okay? Internship, stewardship, every ship, a spaceship. If it's a ship and it's in your life today, which bucket are you putting that relationship, friendship, partnership, business ship in? Is it adding or is it taken away? Let me say it one more time. Is it adding to your life? Is it adding to your happiness? Is it adding to your bottom line? Is it adding to the things that you're birthed in the earth to bring? Is that particular person? Is that business? Is that entity? Is that partnership, that friendship, are they adding or are they taking away? Now, this, I know it seems so simple, but I really want to be honest today. Now, many years ago, I was driving in a car with my friend. So I was driving. Hi, Brittany. Hi, my love bug. How are you? So I was driving and my friend was in the passenger seat. And I'll never forget, we stopped at a light. The light was red and the light was about to turn green and I received a phone call. When I received a phone call, how many of you know when you're in a car with somebody, they can literally hear the conversation that was going on? Now, this is before we had fancy Bluetooth. You could put a Bluetooth in your ear and nobody could hear what's going on, right? This was before Bluetooth, okay? So I pick up the phone. I'm at the light. The light is about to turn green. So I'll never forget, I'm about to turn left. So I'm in the process of turning left. I pick up the phone and I answer it. And all you could hear was yelling and screaming coming from the other end of that phone. My friend looked over at me and she said, I'm so sorry. She said, I had no idea. And tears began to stream down her face. Tears began to stream down her eyes because she knew that I was in a abusive relationship. I was showing up for everybody else on camera, right? I was showing up for everybody else in the world. I had this beautiful, radiant smile that could hide all of my pain, right? I was impacting and I was inspiring the world. I was showing up for everybody, but I didn't show up for the one person I needed to show up for. I didn't show up for the one person in the world that I owed to show up for, and that was myself. Do I have anybody else today that you're showing up for everybody? You're the go-to person for everybody. Your family, you're the go-to person for them. Your friends, you're the go-to person for them. Your business partners, your job, your corporation, you're the go-to person for them. You're the first person that everybody calls on. But today, you don't even show up for you. As she began to cry, and I began to cry because no one knew the secret pain. No one knew the things that I was going through. Why? Because I would always show up with this smile. I would always show up with this radiant spirit. I would always show up just as if everything was a-okay, right? And on the inside, I was going through so much pain. I had to let go. I had to let go, right? And it was in that moment that I said, I don't care how many years I had invested in this relationship. Come on, can we be honest today? How many of us say, oh, I've already invested 10 years in this relationship. I've already invested this much time in this relationship. I'm not going to give up now. I'm not going to quit now. Do I have somebody out here? Oh, I've already invested 10 years into this business. I'm not going to give up now. But the business is doing nothing but subtracting. The person in your life, they're doing nothing but subtracting. They're taking away from you. It's almost, my grandma used to say, you got to watch out for the leeches, because baby, the leeches, they only come to do one thing, and that is to suck you dry. They don't come to add. They don't come to make you smile. They don't come to add to the bottom line. They don't ever come into the situation saying, how can I help you? How can I better you? How can I support you? How can I be there for you? Why? Because they're too busy trying to pull, how can I get this from you? How can I get that out of you? How can I use you for this? How can I use you for that? Somebody talk to me today. There is a time and a place for everything. Hey, Diamond, I love you. There is a season for everything. Even the Bible say it is a time to laugh. It's a time to cry. Even the Bible say it's a time to love. It's a time to hate. It's a time to be born, and it's a time to die. For many of us, we're allowing people to be in a season and their season is over. Why? Because we don't let go. For many of us, we're keeping something way past its season. And I'm here to tell you today that that season is over. In business, right? Here we go. This is another question that I get. How do I know when it's time for me to move on in business? A lot of times in business, we look at our business as our little baby, right? We look at this business as our baby. And what we don't understand is that this baby also has to grow, that there is time that we have to put into this business, that there's a nurturing phase that we have to put into this business that is going to require so much of us. But also, I need you to know that there's transitions that we're going to go through even in business. And that old business model that you may have had, that old business model that you thought, oh my goodness, I'll never deviate from this, that even in your business model, there's going to be a time where you're going to have to let go. Even for me, I love what I do, right? I'm telling you, let me tell you, baby, listen, I love what I do. But I had to, even mentally, I had to shift. Desiree, there's only one you. There is no way that you can talk one-on-one. You have to go from a one-on-one model to a one-to-many model. That's the only way this is going to work. But for many of you, you know, I have such a servant's heart. So I want to touch you. I want to hug you. I want to love on you, right? I want to pray for you. I want to do all of these things. But listen, that worked in 2018. That worked in 2019. That worked in 2020. In 2021, Desiree, that model was not going to work. Somebody talk to me today, right? It's not going to work. So many of us, we're in a shift right now and we don't even understand. Let me tell you something. Do you think that Moses knew that he was in a shift? Do you think Moses knew that he was about to go from a murderer to being one of the most prolific men in the Old Testament? Do you think that Mark Zuckerberg, let's just be honest, when he was a broke college kid, did he ever think that the shift would come in his life where he would go from being a broke college kid to building, owning, operating one of the most, really, literally, it's even hard to describe what the platform of Facebook is. It really is. It is literally like one of the dominating ways to communicate globally. Do you think that a little broke college kid thought that that existed on the inside of him? For many of you, you're shifting. For many of you, you're changing. And what I want you to know is it's okay with that. It's okay with that, because let me tell you something. There was a time in my life, there was a season in my life, baby. Let me tell you something. When we were younger, smoking, drinking. This was a way that we survived our toxic environment. This was a way that this was the only way we knew how to wake up that morning without trying to kill ourselves, without being suicidal. So what would we do? We would suppress the pain with alcohol. We would suppress the pain with drugs because we didn't know what to do with the pain. There's a word that says, when I was a child, I spoke as a child. I thought as a child. I moved as a child. I did things as a child. But when I became a man, when I became a woman, in other words, when I became one that was learned, when I became one that was educated, I had to put away all childish things. So for many of us today, I want you to recognize the season that you're in. And do not be afraid to let go. Let me say it again. Do not be afraid to let go. Don't be afraid to let go of people that no longer serve you. Don't be afraid to let go of people that don't have your best interests at heart. Don't be afraid to let go of old ideas, because many of you saw a video I did the other day. Old keys, they won't open new doors. What is it today that you need to let go of? Who is it today that you need to let go of? Is there a certain environment you need to let go of today? Is there a certain business model you need to let go of today? Is there a certain relationship that you need to let go of today? What does that thing look like for you that you need to let go of? Because if it's not adding, I need you to know that it is subtracting. If you're not growing together, automatically, by default, you're growing apart. One time, Abraham Lincoln, there was a driver that picked up Abraham Lincoln. He had just left a church service. And Abraham Lincoln, the driver said, "How was the church service?" And he said, it wasn't good. He said, "It wasn't good. Why wasn't it good? Did the pastor give a good word?" He said, "Yeah, the pastor gave a good word." Was the choir good? Yeah, the singing and the choir was good. So what about the service you didn't like? He said, "Because he didn't leave me with the actionable step." In other words, he didn't challenge me or how I can be greater. What am I saying today? For many of us, we have a lot of motivation. For many of us, we have a lot of inspiration, right? But I want to challenge you today to let go of some things so that you can make the transformation that you were brought in the earth to make. Let me tell you something. The earth should be a better place. Why? Because you're in it. The earth should be a better place. Why? Because we have a Paula. The earth should be a better place. Why? Because we have a Marquita. The earth should be a better place because we have a Desiree. The earth should be a better place. Why? Because we have an Angel. Because we have a Joanne. Because we have a Katie. The earth should be a better place because we have you living in it. And for many of us, until we let go of that old way of thinking, until we let go of that old thought, until we let go of the old us, until we let go of the old habit, we're going to be stuck right here where we are. One thing about letting go, you guys, and I'm going to leave you with this, it's not easy. Letting go of something is painful. Letting go of bad habits can be very painful. Why? Because you got comfortable with them. Letting go of old people, it can be challenging. Why? Because you've got comfortable with them. Because you're living in a comfort zone. And let me tell you something, your greatness exists outside of your comfort zone. Let me say that again. Your greatness exists outside of your comfort zone. The thing that you're called to do, the person that you're called to be exists outside of your comfort zone. What am I saying today? The woman that I am, the Desiree King that I am today is not the Desiree King that I was last year. I'm not even the same Desiree King that I was 30 days ago. Why? Because I had to get outside of my comfort zone. I had to let go of the limiting belief even I myself had, the limiting belief that I put on my life, the limiting belief I put on my finances, the limiting belief I put on my children. So for many of us today, it is time. It is time to let go. The world that we knew it will never be the same. That world, it will never, ever come back. How many of y'all remember the BlackBerry? The BlackBerry was the number one phone. Any business person, anyone that was distinguished, anyone that was anyone of any importance had a BlackBerry. Until what? Until the iPhone came out. Until the iPhone came out. Now, no one in their right mind even remembers the BlackBerry. I asked somebody about the BlackBerry. I do remember that phone. Why? Because the world changed. The world shifted. There are some things we're going to have to let go of today. So what is that BlackBerry in your life? What is that thing that once was so prominent in your life? What is that thing that once meant so much to you? What was that thing that you wouldn't leave home without it? What is that one thing that now you have to let go of because that season is over? So for many of you, yes, Desiree said, I forgot about that phone. Yes, everybody had a BlackBerry, okay? You have to let go of it. And let me tell you something. It's almost like the iPhone. I think we're at a what, you guys? Somebody help me out. Is it an iPhone 12 now? I forget. I don't even know. I think we're at the iPhone 12, iPhone 13, iPhone 20 Max Pro, etc. You know, iPhone, Amazon. I don't know. We're at like iPhone 89. Why is that? Could you imagine us still walking around with the first iPhone that was ever made? Could you imagine us walking around with the iPhone, the second iPhone? Could you imagine us having an iPhone 5? It's like, oh my God, you still have an iPhone 5, girl? You better let that thing go, right? Oh, I'm an Android. Okay, so my Samsung people, right? My Galaxy people. Could you imagine walking around with the first or second Galaxy, the first or second Samsung? No, why? Because they had to let go of the old model so that they can bring in the new model, so that they can bring in the upgrades, so that they can bring in the new transformation. So for many of you, you got to let that old version of you go. You got to let that old way of thinking go. You got to let that first iPhone of you go. You got to let that first Samsung of you go. You got to let that first Android of you go. You have got to let that thing go. Why? Because the better version of you exists. So for many of you today, I want to leave you with an actionable step. Write down everyone and everything in your life. Is it adding to your life or is it subtracting from your life? Because I need you not to be deceived. It can't be both. The relationships, the partnerships, the friendships, are they adding to your life or are they subtracting from your life? Because it can't be both. All right. So I love each and every one of you. Make sure you come back next Saturday for Struggle Free Saturdays. Feel free to DM me any of your questions, any of your topics that you want us to cover. And also for those of you, if you are not a part of my community, please make sure you text me 702-718-5359. Again, you can text live streams to stay up to date on my trainings. And a lot of great things that I'm going to be rolling out for 2021 to really help you, not only with mindset, but also help you in business. So again, that number is 702-718-5359. Again, 702-718-5359. All right. I love you guys. And I will see you next Saturday, but I'll also be live streaming. So you guys, you'll be able to check me out this week as well. Okay. Because we're really going to go over some tips this week. All right. So I love everybody.